This video will give a basic overview of MecaWind in only 5 minutes. MecaWind is a Windows desktop application with a familiar Office-style layout, menus across the top, and files you can save and reopen later. Under Help, you'll find online resources, a quick Report a Bug option, and license management after purchase. And throughout the program, you can hover over most entries to see a quick tooltip. There is a toolbar across the top as well as controls on the right side of the screen. Many of these controls are related to controlling the graphic on the screen. The graphic in the center is a 3D representation of whatever entries you have currently made. You can rotate or zoom on this model as needed. The entries for the application are grouped, and each grouping is on a different tab. Generally, we start entering data on the tab at the left side and then work our way through the tabs until we get to the right side. The General tab is where we define the code, wind speed, and other general parameters. We start at the top and work our way down. We select the standard. There are multiple standards to select. Refer to our website to see which standards are included in each version of the software. Next, we would enter the wind speed, exposure, and risk category. The structure type is the next entry, and here you will see many different structures. The type structures that are available to select will be based upon those that are included in the standard that is selected by the user. There is a wide number of different types of structures that can be selected. For now, let's select a building structure. For the building structure, we now need to select which method we are going to use for the main wind force resisting system, and also the components and cladding. As you pick methods, our red/green indicators show what's allowed, and if something doesn't meet a requirement, we'll flag the specific item in red. There are some advanced options that can be modified if needed. For now, we will take the default values. Next, we enter all of the building parameters. The graphic gives us a visual indication whether the building dimensions look as we intended. Anytime we enter a value that is a problem, the cell will turn red. If we hover over the red corner, it tells us why it is red. Similarly, if it's a warning, the cell will be yellow. This building has a symmetrical gabled roof. If we wanted to make the roof slope different on each side, with the ultimate version, we can click the custom roof option. Now we can specify different roof slopes and other custom features of the roof. To understand what changes you are making to your structure, you can enter different values and see what difference it has to the graphic on the right. This can help visualize what you can change. We now move on to the Components and Cladding tab. Here is where you would enter things such as doors and windows. You have several options here. We will just elect to include the pressures for all zones and all ranges of areas. To do that, we check the Summary option. This option will produce a table of values for each zone over an array of areas. Another option for CNC entry is to use the Populate button, which allows us to populate every zone for certain dimensions which we specify. We can also manually enter our entries. With the Ultimate version, there is also an option to see a scale model with the zones superimposed on the building. This is useful for determining which zones are applicable for a specific component and cladding entry. That's all the inputs. Now we are ready to generate the calculations. Click Perform Analysis and MecaWind generates a complete calculation report with equations and code references. Use the table of contents to jump anywhere and checkboxes to include or exclude sections in your final output. Export to PDF, Word, HTML, or Excel. There is another useful feature that is included in the Pro version and above. It is called the MWFRS graphics. For a building structure, it will show all of the pressures on the building envelope as a whole. This option also shows the total base reactions on the structure. That explains the basic functionality. Now let's help you determine which version is best for you. There are 3 different versions of the application. Let's start with the standard version, which is the least expensive. Standard covers the core workflow for ASCE 7 wind load calculations in supported editions. Pro adds additional code additions and regional codes, plus MWFRS graphics and base reactions. Pro includes some older versions of the ASCE 7 standard, and it also includes the Florida building codes. The Pro version also includes the MWFRS visualization of pressures as well as calculation of the base reactions. Ultimate has everything included in Standard and Pro, and in addition it adds the ability to calculate tornado loads and a graphical representation of components and cladding. There are 2 different licensing options. A single user license is usually most economical when there are 1 to 3 persons using the software. When there are more users, then a networking option is also available. We hope this video was helpful in giving you a very quick overview of the application. If you have some additional questions, then please feel free to contact us at support@mecaenterprises.com.